Hello and welcome back to color mixing for our Tangerine portrait or still life. So in the first video we mixed all of the oranges that we will need for the portrait, or at least for our beginning of the portrait. I'd like to try to zoom in on that, but I don't think I can. So hopefully you're getting a good idea of what we have here. We went from our shadow color to the highlight color where the sun is really hitting, and we may even lighten that up a little bit more when we get into the painting. So the next thing that I'd like to mix is the leaf colors, and the leaves also go from a very dark shadow to where the light is hitting it. So we're going to start the base of my colors. Again, I'll tell you the colors that I have out: light green, sap green, viridian, turquoise, cerulean blue, cobalt blue, ultramarine, dioxazine purple, magenta, alizarin, cad red, cad orange, cad yellow, yellow ochre, and a lemon yellow. So we're going to start today on our leaves. I always mix my darkest first. I like to start with this sap green. A sap green, it's a beautiful, beautiful dark green, but it is very, very transparent. And I would like to thicken it up just a little bit more. So there's our sap green. Remember to clean before we go into our next pile. I'm going to go into this viridian because viridian is such a cool green. You know, it's a very blue green. It's beautiful. I'm going to just plop that right in there and mix that up for myself. And that's going to make this lovely dark green color, a very shadowed color. If you wanted to darken this even further, you could add a ultramarine blue to it. You could add a little purple to it. I might get just a couple dabs of this ultramarine blue and stick it in there and really push that back. This is where the leaves absolutely have no light hitting them. No light whatsoever, right? Again, clean. Tiny bit more of that ultramarine blue. Put that in there. It's nice when you're working on a glass palette because as I'm mixing, you can see the color that this pile will be when it's painted. You see how that looks. When it gets painted, how lovely that's going to be. You get an indication of what the color will be. I think that's a lovely dark color right there. I'm going to steal some of that over here, and I'm going to add more of this sap green to it. So let me just move this pile a little closer over there. I like to keep my colors in a row. So I need to lighten this a little bit so that I can see a difference. I'm not coming out of the shadows yet, but I am going to lighten it. So I'm going to take a bit of this light green. I'm just going to put that in there, and I'm just going to try to bring this value up just a little bit without changing the colors too much. You could also use an adjacent color. You could put this turquoise in there, and that would bring it up also. That will do a nice color because this, we're going warmer, right, with this turquoise color. So I'm going to bring that up again, clean my palette knife. I'm going to bring that up. Just try to bring it up a little bit, not a lot, because we are still deep, knee deep in the shadows, right? But you can start to see the color difference that's happening between those two piles, right? Not a lot, but a little bit. And you can see we're starting to come out of that deep, dark, no light hitting that leaf color. So you can see that this is stepping up just a little bit. I hope that's coming through. So now I'm going to go all of this sap green. I'm going all in on the sap green, and that's SAP sap green. There. No more of the Viridian because I'm coming out of the shadows, and Viridian is a blue and a blue is a shadow color. A little more of that light green. And we're going to be stepping up now. We're stepping into the sunshine now. Right? This is where our leaf colors, you can see the difference here that's happening. You see the color change that's happening. Remember to really clean the palette knife because you don't want to contaminate the colors together, because these are my straight out the tube colors. I want to keep those clean for when I'm mixing and I need colors. So look at the beautiful variation we have right there. That's working out quite nicely and indicates to me exactly where we're coming. We're coming into the light. I'm going to put a little more sap green on my tray straight out the tube. That's where it lives, right there. I put a nice bit out there because this goes into the freezer and gets saved. I'll post all my brands if you're interested in knowing what brands I use. I use all different kinds of brands. Some I like, some work better than others. Some, I use different ones for different reasons. I don't always buy the most expensive paints. I don't think it's necessary. But some people do, I don't. So now we're coming farther and farther and farther into the sunlight. So this pile has to really step up. I'm really going to grab this light green, plop it down in there, give it a good mix. We love mixing colors, love mixing colors. So you'll notice again, like I did with my oranges, through all of this, there's no white. There's no white happening here. I'm using other colors, complementary or adjacent colors, to make this happen. Right now, I'm holding off on my yellows as much as I can. I'm going to add just a tiniest little, that's even a little too much, tiniest bit of yellow in here to bring it up into the sunshine. You can only go so far with the light green because you are coming into the sunshine. I'm going to grab up the rest of that, plop it down in here. You can see how that's going to change. Yellow is sunlight, sunlight is warmth, white is not sunlight for our painting purposes. For this process, I just use little quarter pieces of paper towel. A lot of people use rag instead of paper towel. I don't find that works for me. Paper towel works much better, makes much cleaner. So I don't use rag. I know other people use rag, I do not. So you can see the difference that's happening right there. And it's really beautiful, the color shift that's happening. You're coming up the gradient, the value gradient that is. So you can see, now I want a little bit more of this. I'm gonna go back and get a little bit more of both of those greens. A little bit of the green we mixed, a little more of the yellow. We'll see where that gets us. Mix it up. This is like a recipe. If you like to cook, you'll like to mix paints. So look what's happening there. Isn't that lovely? A little more yellow can happen in there because we are coming into the light now. We are really, those leaves are, this isn't total light, but that leaf, right, that part of that leaf is definitely in the light. The next thing I'm going to do is going to be the highlight, where it's just the little jewels, right, that are on your painting. There's not a lot of them. You try not to overdo it. So I'm grabbing that cad yellow. The other thing I'm going to grab is I'm going to grab the lemon yellow. And that, you can see it's a lighter yellow, softer yellow. Now this is the part of the leaf that is the absolute highlight of that leaf. It's almost the reflection of the light coming at us, right? It's like gleaming off of the leaf, right? The sun is gleaming from the shadow to here. It's gleaming, and that might even go lighter. As I said, when I'm painting, sometimes these colors will change and they'll go lighter, darker. I may change, but this is where I start. So you can see again, here's the important point. These are the colors of the leaf as the leaf sits in shadow, and then the leaf turns or curls into the sunlight. In this lineup right here, as you can see, I never went to my white. Never. If I had to lighten one of these, I probably would have grabbed this warm, unbleached titanium before I grabbed the white. This is a warm way to lighten. It's a lovely color, and I use that a lot while I'm painting. It will warm something up and lighten it at the same time. So it's a really good color. It also can neutralize colors like this. If these colors get a little too vibrant, that'll take it down a notch. It's really a useful color. So that was part 2 of my video, and you can see that there's the greens, there's what we mixed the last time, there are the oranges. So that's the second part of this mixing video. In the third one, we're going to be mixing the beige crock color. It's an antique pickling crock, and we're going to be mixing that as it goes from its shadow into the highlight. So thank you for watching, and join me again.